Hey, this will be a video chart on CBAI, Cord Blood America Incorporated. What can I say? Absolute monster day. But better yet, I think it's just the chart is acting like an uptrend should, like you want it to. It's a healthy chart. It's not one of these. Well, it's not one of these moves here where it just went straight up here and then you had this big, massive, long-term consolidation period. We had some big up moves, and instead of a 2 month, consolidation period like we had here, here was only about 3 weeks, and I think I can speak for the majority of people when I say I'd rather have a 3 week consolidation or a 2 week, whatever that was, compared to a whole, 2 month consolidation. And this one makes just an excellent, example too from an educational standpoint. You can see, we had the breakout, then it came down. We had this nice doji candle here, which represents, it's looking like this downwards action was done. It happened right at this red line here, which is the 10-day simple moving average. Moved up, came back down, found support once again right here at the 10-day simple moving average, and then today exploded. And not only did you have nice price action, but it was completely confirmed by the big volume, biggest volume we've had since back here. It looks like in late or early October. So basically, in a nutshell, this chart was a firing on all cylinders today, and I want to get it updated. Obviously, I got a bunch of requests for it, and we'll see what happens. One thing to note is because this chart, I think, acts more like it should and does have healthy consolidations, I wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback. But if that does happen, remember, pullbacks are very healthy for this chart. Here we had a big day, then we had a pullback, consolidate, bam, big move up. Had a pullback here, consolidate, bam, big move up. So, when I say the word pullback, please don't throw stones. Please don't freak out because, as history has shown since basically the beginning of December, pullback and consolidations have been very healthy for this, even in the long term. I mean, this low here that it put is still higher than this one. So yes, this consolidation and pullback did take a couple months, but at the end of the day, this low here was still clearly higher than that low down here, which allows this chart to still be in an uptrend. So let's dig in. Supports and resistance levels. What are we seeing here? Well, today it just was destroying resistance levels all over the place. So needless to say, it formed quite a few support levels. In fact, it even turned this previous high into a support level. This previous high from back here in September was at 0.0113. So this is now support. The one thing I'm going to say about this one, I'm going to leave it a skinny line just because the price really didn't close too far above it. So if the price does fall below it, nothing to freak out about. It's okay, not the end of the world or anything like that. The other support levels that were put in today, just by virtue of knocking out resistance levels, was this one right here, right around the 0.0103 area. So I'm going to make these ones green. I'll bump up this thickness level to show that this one's a little bit more important, but still, at the end of the day, if this one were to fail, don't freak out. Not the end of the day, and it still can put in a nice little chart there. But the one that I'd like to ideally see hold in any sort of pullback is going to be this area right here, where was the previous high. And as you can see from where it closed, that would be quite a far drop. But this level here at 0.0093, I'm going to make that line extra thick just to show that this is kind of an important one in my eye at least. But at the end of the day, if it wants to go through one of these prolonged ones, as long as it stays above these moving averages, it's going to be okay. But if you're a short-term swing trader, you definitely care about these support levels. If you're a day trader, you definitely care about these support levels. But if you're one of these people who just plan on holding for, who knows how long, then really at the end of the day, all you care about are lower lows. I mean, we had this low, we had this low, so technically this one could drift all the way down here and put in a bottom right at this spot. But once again, you'd still have a higher low than both this and this one, so you would still have an uptrend. So remember, it's really all about your kind of time perspective. But from the short-term swing trade, medium-term swing trade, these are the support levels where you'd ideally like to see them hold. Now for the fun stuff, what we're going to do for resistances is I'm going to jump to a weekly chart. That way I don't have to scrunch up this chart so much. It'll just be easier to find out where our resistance levels are. But looking here at this chart, the next resistance that I'm seeing is going to be right around probably this low of this candle. And the reason I'm selecting that one is we had a low here, and then when it fell below, it turned into a resistance, and you can see how it was a resistance here. The next 2 weeks kind of approached that area, could never get through. So that's why, or that's where I've kind of selected this. This low is at, or I should say, this resistance is at 0.0136. So this will be the next resistance level to do battle at, and after that one, the stock could really make a big move, as the next one's not up here until this area, which is basically right here at 0.0175. So that would be a nice little jump there. I'm not going to go any further beyond that. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We'll just take one or two steps at a time, but these are the next two resistance levels, and we've just gone over the support levels too. And speaking of the weekly, you can see the weekly chart's looking real nice. Once again, had this multi-week pullback here, made the move up, had a few week consolidation here, and now I'm working on its next move up. So like I said, chart's firing on all cylinders, and it's just a matter of making sure when pullbacks do come that they're healthy, like this one was. And with healthy consolidations, you can expect bigger moves to the upside. So once again, congratulations to everybody that both were patient enough through this consolidation or either loaded up on that. I'm sure you're having a good Tuesday today. So if there are any other questions on the chart, please shoot me a message. If you haven't yet, please check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook. And with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things, from big boards down to penny stocks. So there's a good variety, something for everybody. And everything's free, so it's worth at least signing up and giving it a try. We've been making some good money together, so check it out. One more time, this was CBAI. Thanks for listening.